So I was just making some sauerkraut and I had a bit of a revelation. Here's the sauerkraut, by the way. I was actually, it's kind of OCD, but I was peeling the sticker off of this sauerkraut container that I had bought from Fiesta Nutrition in Monroe, Louisiana. There are some extraneous details that you totally don't need. Anyway, and sometimes when you do these kind of mindless activities like this, you can be really mindful and think about every little sensation as your fingernail scrapes off the sticker and notice the color and of the kraut and how it makes your finger feel softer or hard or whatever. Or your mind can totally wander to other territories, right? So my mind wandered to other territories, as it often does. And where my mind wandered was, guess what? Graduate school. And what I was thinking about was how, in a way, I was thinking about specifically how I'm going in for evaluation on Monday. So I'll get feedback on how I did last semester and what they think of my clinical progress and maybe teaching. How feedback from instructors of how I'm doing in my courses, how I'm doing with my ADHD, childhood behavior evaluations, all the miscellaneous tasks that I did last semester, and how it maps onto my overall progress in the program and my success for being on placement next year, and if I'm ready or not, and how the dissertation committee's going, and if I've come to a topic or chosen a chair, and all these future things. So I was thinking about that feedback session, and I was kind of feeling good about it, right? I'm excited about the opportunity to have an open and frank discussion with this professor who's giving me the feedback, and tell him kind of what my thoughts are about the program and where I stand and where I think I may or may not be going. And I was thinking about it, and I thought, these evaluations, these self-evaluations, these student evaluations, progress reports, whatever, they kind of get me high, or they evoke similar feelings to when I'm getting in the middle of my parents' business or family business, or trying to fix other people's problems in an inappropriate way, or try to namely, what's come up the most for me as an only child of parents in what I perceive to be a pretty miserable marriage, is getting in the middle of their relationship and trying to fix or tell, my dad what to do, or think I know what's best for him. And, back in years past, same thing with my mom, right? Telling her what to do or whatever, thinking I know what's best for her, when in reality, of course, I don't know what's best for either of them. I only know what's best for me. That's all we're equipped with, and that's all we need to know. So yeah, the thought of getting this feedback and this oh, you're doing so great, or you're not, or whatever, reminds me of the feelings of being in the middle of their relationship, or, being inappropriate with other people. And that sounds kind of crazy, but it's the same kind of unhealthy external validation, ego building experience in my mind. So the same way it kind of pumps me up and makes me feel better, fluff out my chest and my feathers or whatever, to feel like I know what's up in my parents' marriage, and this is what you guys need to do, and I'm here fixing it and mediating and being this middleman in a totally inappropriate, unhealthy way that reinforces, the structure of a toxic family system with unhealthy boundaries that don't serve anyone in the family. That same sort of thing. It's grad school is, for me, another kind of toxic family system where I'm relying on feedback outside of myself to feel better about myself. And I even have like the same kind of like I have in the past, and these feelings were, I guess, kind of coming up again this time. The same kind of like icky fear about, oh my God, like, what are they gonna tell me? And, the same like stomach clenched, hanging on every word like it's so important and it's life or death. And I've had that in the past with communications with my parents and everything like that. So, yeah, I was just really aware of all the similarities between my experience in an unhealthy family system and what unhealthy role I was playing in that. Of course, I take full responsibility. It's not like I was, the healthy one and the rest of the family was messed up or something. No, I was engaging in very sick behaviors myself, again, to feel better about myself, to forge this false sense of self-esteem. And in a similar manner, I think grad school was kind of, or has been about the same kind of thing, right? If I get all A's, I'm like doing great, I'm a good person or something, I'm a worthwhile human being. If I get all A pluses, even better. And if the professor doesn't give A pluses, then, shame on him or her. Really silly, inconsequential sources of validation that really fall flat at the end of the day and leave me feeling empty and, without a sense of intrinsic value, intrinsic worth, intrinsic self-esteem, this inherent feeling of I am everything I need to be and I have everything that I need within me. A sense of serenity, of peace, of self-acceptance, and of self-love. Of course, graduate school can't deliver that. That's something that's totally within myself. And I think, doing my little OCD thing here with the sticker, it was like, I look forward to that feedback because, not because the information I'm going to hear or the feedback I'm going to receive, but the feedback I'm going to provide about the program in a respectful, gentle way, no bashing or anything like that, but just an honest evaluation of where I'm at and where I'm, I guess an honest expression of my doubts and my, different thoughts about directions I may be going in the future. So, many blessings, and I look forward to enjoying my kraut. I made these 3 pints today, and then I made this one yesterday, and I'm hoping that they're going to be good. I've made kraut twice before, and the first time I didn't use any salt because I was like, oh, I don't want sodium, be all puffy and whatnot. I bet it works without. Turns out it doesn't. And I didn't even massage the kraut that time or really squeeze it or beat it down to get the water out. So it was like a double whammy of totally not working. And then this past time, right before I left for Hawaii, I added so much salt. I made the kraut in a food processor, and that seemed to work really well. It got a lot of water out by itself, and then, man, I was just like dumping the salt on because the thing I read online was like generous portions of salt. So I like dumped generous portions of salt. And apparently they don't mean as generous as I interpreted it to mean. So when I got back from Hawaii, after having a kraut that wasn't even made with salt, it was made with a starter culture, I tasted it and it tasted all fermenty, so like A+ in terms of that. However, it was nasty salty and I threw it away. So hopefully this round is good. Anyway, peace be with you, and may you be able to transcend any kind of negative feelings about yourself today and open your heart to self-love. Mwah.